Sailing at a couple of knots, so Kel's gone in for a dip. Our safety line's not so safe because it doesn't actually float. In this episode, we are finally heading west. We leave Marmaris and get an opportunity to explore some parts of the South Turkey coast we skipped earlier. This includes the Hirusan and Yesilova Gulfs, where we find some great anchorages with clear waters, friendly people, and lots to explore.
We're leaving Marmaris and we are heading further west. Where to? We're not quite sure yet. The forecast is for fairly heavy winds, but hopefully we can get a bit of distance under our belt before they come through. We spent 4 nights in Marmaris and it was just perfect.
This is Kel trying to work out our Schengen time while listening. It's impossible. While listening to the music being provided by that. Some friends of ours from Kalada that we haven't seen since we first launched Dakini are here as well. So they're coming around. They'll be our first ever boat guests at anchor. Had to tidy up a little bit. One of the heads is gone. Probably a block line. The pump seems to be working fine. It looks so clean. I think I'm prepared. Important step here is trying to limit the mess throughout the rest of the boat.
This is by far the worst job on the boat and Al has volunteered for it, which means I'm going to be in his debt for a long time.
We're not going to go too far today from Marmaris, tuck around the corner into an anchorage that we haven't stayed in before. This is our opportunity to really explore west of Marmaris because of course last time we did this coast we were barreling along to try and get our mast repaired. With the exception of the wind conditions, it's an incredible day. Fishing, making water, making power, admiring the gorgeous coast, and looking at the lucky yachts that are sailing in the other direction. Cal's busy researching solar solutions for one of our big upgrades that we're hoping to do by the end of the year. I'm going to go spearfishing. I have no idea if this is going to show up on camera, but it looks incredible. These are the sort of mornings we live for. We have awoken in Ciftlik, just around from Marmaris, but it is like a different world. Clearest water we've had probably since we've started this adventure, I'd say. The spearfishing last night was amazing. One little super yacht's turned up since we've been here. A couple of the yachts have left. It got really busy, but in a nice way, you know, lots of people just clearly anchoring for the night, and it is such a beautiful spot. So this morning I have been doing some battery testing. It's all part of the fact finding as we head towards hopefully a lithium replacement in due course.
Look how clear the water is. This is through our little escape hatch in our cabin. I went for a wander last night along the shore, and there's sort of 4 or 5 restaurants. It's the middle of sort of summer, it's high season, and there was hardly anyone there, so I'm not sure why. There's also like an abandoned resort. Don't know. Maybe it's not as popular as it used to be, but it is a beautiful spot.
See how close.
Today we have a friend in the neighbourhood. There's a power cat called Clarity, owned by a couple of Australians, and she's just out there. We caught up with them in Marmaris, and I'm sure we'll bump into them again at some stage.
We're sailing at a couple of knots, so Kel's gone in for a dip. Our safety line's not so safe because it doesn't actually float the faster now. Nice.
Oh yeah. It's real nice.
Colour of the water.
Oh, it's so clear, it's ridiculous. No fish though. We're only doing sort of 2 or 3 knots, but it's surprising how fast the water feels when you're in it.
How's this done? Do I
Zell's
just jump
turn.
in, do I?
No, do it safely.
Oh, I'm just going to jump in without probably listening. Oh jeez, it's cold.
Yeah, I know, right?
Bloody hell. Ooh, it's quite cold. Very refreshing. Oh, very refreshing.
We found a spot. You can't free anchor here because it is not big enough, but we managed to Medmore. We have a lovely looking swimming pool behind us and the water looks amazing. We do have some neighbours and I'm not sure how many of those will be day boats and go home and how many are staying overnight. Look at that water. Wow. We've decided we like this anchorage so much and the water is so clear that we're going to stay here another night. And also I'm out of t-shirts, so we've made it into a washing day and a cooking day. Elle is experimenting with fish curry. What do you think the odds are?
I think the odds are 100% I'm going to produce a fish curry. I presume what Kel is asking is what are the odds of a delicious fish curry? 50-50. I shot a nice little white trevally last night, or silver trevally, and it's a really good currying fish, really firm flesh, not the greatest of flavour, so it suits curry. I was a bit worried that the fish to veg ratio was incorrect, so I've defrosted what I think is some possibly grouper to go with the white trevally. End result, my trevally and grouper potato tomato Penang curry. That's right, it was like I was never here. I'm doing some spearfishing not far from Bozburun. I think I've just found a big M4 I hid. Like a 2-handled one, it's awesome. I'm going to go down and see if I can film it.
Another day, another boat repair. So this time it's the switch. This is the little switch from our water maker. Luckily we had a replacement switch, so we're just trying to wire that in now. Fixed, another boat job done. Until something else breaks. It's time to say see you later to another beautiful anchorage. This morning, Elle's got the job of swimming. And you can see all the day boats have come in now. There was only 2 or 3 boats here last night. That's how you know it's a good spot.
Just doing a water transfer. We're refreshing our port tanks that we try and keep full at all times, but to make sure the water is fresh we used about half of it. We're now topping it up from the starboard side.
We're only about 4 miles now from Bozburun. It looks like there's plenty of good anchorages around there, and there's a small town with some restaurants and some shops. So we'll head in there and hopefully stretch our legs on shore. The deck's really hot. Been a few days, so the chances of her starting well are pretty low.
I would agree with that, yes.
First go! It's never been first go. Especially after 3 days sitting.
We're probably only here for the one night, so we've really got to make sure we pop in and have a checkers. It's a really fun looking kind of combination of resort town and other things. Not too busy yet. We've got a great anchorage. It's the tax to park at the Migros wharf.
It's a cute little town. There's some tourist restaurants right in the waterfront, but as soon as you get a block back, it's just local houses, which is sort of cool. I feel like I need more steps, so I've let Al go home with shopping, and I am going to continue wandering the town. I found the local council or regional government beach. They're really good over here. Every town we've been to has an area that's like totally free, and they'll often put up umbrellas, and sometimes there's little council run cafes as well. It's really cool. I found a shipyard that is building a giant gullet. And there's more hulls there and there.
Time to go up the mast again. I need to tighten the VHF antenna.
He's all the way out there. He's got 2 harnesses on, one for sort of comfort and one for safety, and 2 lines attached. There's always a safety line. These are the twists you get from using electric winch, so you can see why it's so important to run it through your hands and untwist it as many times as you can. Today we are leaving Bozburun and heading back out to find another one of those beautiful Turkish anchorages. There's a Genoa port sheet, the Genoa starboard sheet, the 2 travellers which we put down there, and then we've got reef 1, 2 and 3, the main sheet and the main halyard. So lots and lots of messy lines, but it's for a purpose. There's not long left and my team are down by 9 points. Not happy?
Bloody hell, dude. Was that a 36-point turnaround?
Yeah.
The plan is to listen to Geelong lose, but it's not.
No. I have my fingers crossed they're coming back. I've got them on the radio. Fingers crossed.
But the plan is get some sea room, chuck up some sails, see where the wind takes us.
But there's only 2 minutes left on the game, so the game's going to take priority. We won. 5 points. That was a very close game. Too close for comfort.
Alright, shall we?
Alright, let's go. You turn these off.
Oh, more far away. Okay.
Yeah. We're making about 4.5 knots in about 7 knots of wind. We're as close reaching as a catamaran can, which is not very.
No.
This is what we have to do every time the main goes up. To run this line through a couple of times to work the twist out.
We managed to sneak through between isolated danger and the headland just before the wind dropped to not even 3 knots now. I'm not sure we'll be able to maintain steerage much longer. I'm keeping an eye out for pressure. as they say in the America's Cup. We don't need much, but we do need some. Sailing! Our patience was rewarded. There was maybe half an hour of no wind, but we were able to maintain our heading, sort of. Oh dear, we're experiencing our first evening of struggling to find an anchorage that we like. We're expecting 80 knots of wind tonight. Limier was pretty busy considering what time we got in. I guess that's the challenge when you've been sailing all day, you're getting a bit later than usual. That's sort of what I was thinking. Kibuku.
We're just pulling into plan B, which is Kibuku, and I've got to say it's a pretty amazing plan B. And here's the little island. Apparently up on that island there's is it a fort? A castle or a fort?
It's a fort, Byzantine.
A fort. Oh, there's a Byzantine fort on top of that rock right there. Top of that little island. That look quite nice.
It's a little unexpected. Just chatting with a Kiwi Aussie couple on Ruckus, and they've recommended a walk up the Byzantine fort here in Kibuku, so I'm going to wade ashore. Oh, quite the climb, but we get a great view of Dakini. Amazing view of Kibuku from the very top of the little island.
That was a great little anchorage we stayed at last night, and we even entertained. There was 2 other Aussie and Kiwi boats in the area, so they all came round for a few drinks, which was lovely. But there is a massive breeze coming in this afternoon, looking at over 30 knots we think, this afternoon and tomorrow, so we are heading out early, trying to find an anchorage that has nice protection from the west, because we may be stuck there for a couple of nights. And somehow, right now, the best sailing course and where we want to go are in the same direction. And that never happens.
Right.
So I reckon we've got about 10 minutes before the wind moves.
Alright, ready with the Genoa? Maybe.
We're flying straight into 6 knots. Should we get the Genoa sorted? Okay, I got too excited too early. The wind died.
That was an incredible 5 minutes of sailing at 6.5 knots.
We found our next anchorage, and we have taken full advantage of having quite a small draft of only 1.2 metres, and which means we can get in closer than the monos can. So we're nice and close to the beach. Good. Yeah, dinghy secured. I get to dispose of the rubbish, and then we're going to head up the hill. So up there is some sort of walk. We can see the entrance, and apparently it goes to Lookout. We're just not sure how far up it goes. That doesn't look like it. It goes someone else.
We were the best anchored vessel, and then someone turned up and went even closer to the beach.
Shops and restaurants. Got some very important supplies from the shop, largely eggs. We're heading back. It's certainly an unusual place. I'm going to have to Google it because it's somewhere between a holiday resort, camping ground, a retirement community, a timeshare. I haven't figured it out, but I will.
We are now sailing.
We're sailing!
That's the important bit. We are now sailing.
We are not sailing fast.
No, but we're making power and we're fishing and
Making water.
making water. We're just making it.
It's too hot to cook, so it's a pizza dinner. We just raid the fridge and see whatever's out there. It goes on a board. I think these days it's called charcuterie.
Charcuterie.